Hi, my name's Nicole, and I did my current event on why killer viruses are on the rise. Where are these pandemics born? They're born in rainforests. HIV, Ebola, yellow fever, and Zika were found in rainforests. Outbreaks rise from rainforests due to their housing of crazy animals. Some of these animals haven't even been discovered yet, and some can be found in microcreatures and nanocreatures that we can't even see. In the rainforest, evolution goes to the extreme in these animals. You'll see changes in their body shapes, body sizes, and the colors of their animals. This current event focused on Malaysia's Borneo rainforest discoveries. Kevin Olival and his team were searching for new diseases here. Olival is an ecologist and evolutionary biologist with the US-based nonprofit EcoHealth Alliance. He is part of the organization called PREDICT. PREDICT is a $20 million project sponsored by the US government, and it's led by the University of California, the School of Veterinary Medicine. But why would he pick Borneo? Borneo is a large rainforest and has new animals that need to be discovered. The goal is to find viruses that are inside these animals around the world and prevent outbreaks in humans. As mentioned in a previous slide, Ebola is another virus that is hugely on the rise and was on the rise in 2014 through 2016. Since March 2014, West Africa and other countries have experienced the largest outbreak in Ebola. If you look at the map on your right, some of the countries that have been seriously impacted were Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. The CDC activated its Emergency Operations Center to coordinate technical assistance and control activities with other U.S. governments, the World Health Organization, and other domestic international partners. The CDC deployed teams to West Africa of public health experts to West Africa. If you direct your attention to the picture on the right, one of the main things about this picture that really correlates to globalization is that in these countries that are lit up, it shows that there have been more flare-ups of Ebola since we have already found the initial outbreak of Ebola. What the CDC is doing is sending 75 staff members to these countries, 75 for each country, to help control the epidemic. So such countries include Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. On the left has some numbers according to the case counts. This is updated from April 13th, 2016. The case counts are updated in conjunction with the WHO updates and are based on information reported by the Ministries of Health. So the total cases, meaning that people are suspected of Ebola, probable, and confirmed cases, is 28,652 people. The laboratory confirmed cases counts to 15,261, and the total deaths that Ebola has caused is 11,325 people. So why are some of these huge viruses and diseases coming about? Most of them are coming from rainforests. Some of these rainforests have not even been touched. So as soon as they are destroyed, all the viruses that survive the destruction spill out into the air and start infecting the living creatures that live in the rainforests. The cost for finding these diseases and finding cures for all of these diseases is very high. The biggest problem that has happened is due to bats, especially for the Ebola. The likely host for the Ebola was the bats. The bats are somewhat of a most dangerous animal in the world. They can carry multiple killing viruses. Their viruses are either carried through their bodies, blood, spit, and feces. So the biggest problem with the bats is that these animals, they can fly. So they can carry the virus and they can spread it all over the world through fluid that they drop from their bodies or through feces and whatnot. Continuing on with Ebola, the cost is very high. 2014 from the World Bank estimated that 2.2 billion was lost in 2015 in the gross domestic product of Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. So this affected their agriculture production, so this really affected the decline in their food security. To help with finding cures for Ebola and treating patients that are suspected of Ebola, a lot of other countries have donated to finding the cure for Ebola. The overall donations came up to 3.611 billion US dollars by December 2015. The US government alone donated 2.369 billion for the Ebola response activities. So 798 million were donated to the CDC, 632 million went to the Department of Defense, and 939 million was going to the U.S. Agency for the International Development. As you can see on the picture on the right, I just explained the U.S. government, and you can see that Germany, United Kingdom, and the World Bank have donated overall $3.6 billion to help control or cure the Ebola epidemic. How can we correlate this to globalization? Well, viruses can be spread through the air, and some of these animals can fly and spread the virus through the air, through feces, or through any type of liquid form that they disperse. In the US, more than 12 human diseases have appeared over the past 25 years. For example, killer tick-borne virus happened in Kansas in 2014. Leprosy dismembered a man in Arizona in 2002. And rodents to humans, there was a hemorrhagic fever in California in 1999. In Malaysia, in the past 40 years, more than 1/3 of the Borneo rainforest has been destroyed. So through the destroying process, the viruses that still survive will spread throughout the air and affect surrounding areas. And for an overall worldwide effect, bats had triggered the Ebola outbreak in West Africa in 2014. Traveling 20 countries in 7 years, 1,000 new viruses have been found. SARS-like viruses in bats across 3 continents, which is the SARS is the bats killing pneumonia. And by 2050, more than half of the world's population is predicted to live in the tropics/subtropics. This means that they have to destroy some rainforest to create living space, and therefore once the rainforests are destroyed, the viruses that survive will spread throughout the air and affect the population.